No vests.
No vest. All right, people. Welcome to episode 9 of No Vest Podcast, aka Nvp. Jay, I think we had a great week last week. I'm excited to follow it up. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. You know, another week flies by. Find myself, sitting here on a call with
Yours truly.
yours truly. Yeah, it's, I can't say that I don't look forward to it. I don't know if that was the correct wordage, but I'm trying to say that I look forward to this. I'm excited as much as you are.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and we've found our stride a little bit. We've sunk into a little bit of a routine, and we're finding our stride here. We're still here.
We're still grinding.
Let's go.
I want to thank Sonia Carans for coming out last week. I also want to thank Erica Stupek for coming out a few weeks prior to that. I think we've been 2 for 2 with the guests. Two also very different guests. I mean, we had our first guest who was, working the socials that's a true quote, working the socials as she said. And then our second guest, Sonia, no social. So I think we had a great contrast there of different perspectives. And I think, we dove in, Jay. I mean, we dove in on the deep end. We went off the high diving board. We got into the waters and, sink or swim. But I think it was a great episode 8. And I'm ready for episode 9, baby.
I agree. Yeah, it went well. Again, we said at the beginning, we're just spreading awareness and to spread, from everywhere to people, like you said, of all walks of life, if you will. Yeah, we were happy to have Sonia on. It was a great conversation, and I'm glad we did it. I'm looking forward to new things.
I think I want to bring on every single one of our listeners that wants to be a guest. If they have something that they get triggered by, or they want to say, or they want to come in and talk about or enlighten, our global fan base, as people would say. I mean, we're totally global now. I think if people want to come in and they got something to say. I mean, Jay and I, we got a lot to talk about week in, week out. I mean, we put on this podcast for 40 minutes and we, dive into various topics. But I think if someone has something they want to say, 100% hit us up. We'll maybe slot you, weeks down the line, but we'll get something set up. So feel free to reach out to us and keep the comments and keep everything rolling, man. This is it's a snowball effect, right, Jay?
Yeah, I think I've said that like 5 or 6 times on this, but I might be lying even on that. But anyways, I think the more the merrier. Like everyone has so much a lot of stories to tell, so much to say, and we kind of want to. Let people voice that a little bit.
So we talked a lot last week about social media. So I think this episode, we're not going to talk about the socials as much. I think we dove in a lot last week. I think we're going to touch on some other topics. But one of the things that we generally on MVP don't do is keep up with current news. And I'm not talking politics or world news or anything like that. I'm talking about more fun pop culture news. Jay, I don't know if you saw it today, but it came out that ESPN fired Paul Pierce for what was an Instagram live story of him basically playing poker. It looked like he was smoking something. They can't confirm if it was a cigar or maybe
looked
something
like
else.
Looked like a nice Swisher Sweet.
Yeah,
I'm being honest.
exactly. And with some strippers in the background, people were twerking. It looked like it was maybe like in a hotel room or something of those sorts. Little party going on. And he put like a 13-minute video up on Instagram Live. If you got time, you might want to honestly just kind of skip through it.
You do want to go.
You absolutely do.
It's gold.
But
my man Paul Pierce was turned up. If I'm being honest, I don't think he did anything wrong. I mean, I think ESPN is gonna play the image card. That doesn't align with our business image. But I think it's a bit of nonsense. I mean, to be honest, that's probably the most press I've paid attention to ESPN. I mean, I know I frequent the site, I guess, to check a score, but in terms of content, if you will, that was the most entertaining ESPN has put out. So,
well, that wasn't ESPN putting putting it out. That was Paul Pierce individual account putting it out.
Right, you're right. I shouldn't say it like that, but he is attached to ESPN in that sense. And they brought it up, So
this seems to be a common theme. Excuse me. Wow, theme. This seems to be a common theme, and I know, for those people that aren't sports fan, and this kind of is all over the place too, is people post, on their live or stuff like that, and they're like, oh, my account got hacked, or oh, someone took over, and I mean, like, at what point are we just like not buying it anymore, or like, oh, I'm so sorry, I apologize, I didn't even realize that, Paul Pierce clearly knew exactly what he was releasing to thousands of people.
Now that's the other thing. He had a look in his eye. I've seen that look.
Yeah.
He might have been on some other type of things where he might have not been on this planet. Physically, he was there and holding the phone, but mentally, that man was he might have been on Pluto. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I almost blame the people around him for letting him keep the phone in his hand. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, Paul's turned up. Let's maybe take his phone so he doesn't, ESPN doesn't see this. But I'm sure he's on to bigger and better pastures. He's posted a few other things since.
Yeah, he has.
And it looks like he's smiling and enjoying life. So I don't know what else to say. Did you see he woke up at about 7 p.m. on the West Coast and then tweeted out, "Good morning"? He had himself a good night, man. I don't know what else to say. It's sad that he lost his job, but I think he'll be okay.
I think he'll be okay as well. Now, Jay, I want to get into RFW, and our true fans know what RFW is, what it stands for, and what we're about to dive into. Jay, I want to do. Obviously, I think you went first last time, so I want to do my RFW. I love throwing out these
I don't know what the order is, but
my RFW on MVP. We're just gonna keep the acronyms going.
Yeah.
And so, my red flag of the week is I'm gonna try to combine two here. Now I'm gonna have basically two red flags of the week. I'm gonna go 2 for 1 here, and it's something I see more times than I don't see, because I think a lot of it has to do with people plugging information into their phone and relying on it that way. But you gotta pump the brakes. You gotta yield, when you see this. And I'm talking specifically people that are awful with directions. Like, to the point where, it's like they've lived in the neighborhood for a long time, and you're going to a spot that you constantly go to. They leave for 6 months or a year. They come back, and they have no idea how to get there. Or the cardinal directions. If you don't know your cardinals after like 3 weeks of living in a new city, it's an absolute. You gotta get your perception down correct, because if I'm telling you gotta head east and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's absolutely tough. It's a big red flag.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's not a good look. They know their way to and from like work, and that's about it. They can't really tell you how they got there, but they just kind of blindly drive and get there somehow. They don't truly know where they're going. And yeah, like, I understand, if you're in a city you've never been to before, you might, and nowadays you got the iPhone, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it should be, you have all the tools around you to figure out where the hell you're going. And if you're just lost at all times, I have to assume you're lost in other areas of life.
Exactly. And I think one of the problems is when you're growing up, you're in the back seat and you're playing on your iPad or you're putzing or you're messing with your friends. You're getting a good game of Jello in, you're doing your thing with your friends and you're not paying attention as to where you're going. Now, when I have a kid, I'm going to be like, hey, buddy, which way are we heading? What exit are we taking? So when he grows up, he is just the best when it comes to directions. I'll be like, yeah, like where is this random city in Wisconsin? And he'll be on it. He'll be locked in.
I don't know where I got it from, but I definitely took pride in like not being lost in the city. Yeah. You could drop me in Milwaukee pretty much anywhere and I would be able to find, you give me a destination, I can get there somehow.
I've gotten to the point where I'm almost like too good at it, and I know that sounds very arrogant, but like when I get into like directional conversations with people about the city, I'll go like building for building with people. I'm like, oh, you're on the west side of the street, so the river's just south of you. So, are you by that yellow brick building or are you by the red one? No, I'm just east of the. It's like, oh, okay. Then I go to another landmark I know. Inch by inch.
Add this to the list of Jack's elite capabilities. The vision, I don't even remember, but now
ping pong.
Your city geographical specific to your home city, of course.
I mean,
because I doubt that you have that kind of touch in another city.
If people want to challenge it, then I'll prove them wrong. You guys should give me like coordinates. GPS coordinates in another episode. I'll be able to figure out exactly where you are.
You should try out GeoGuessr. It's kind of fun. It's on the computer. It's similar to what you're saying. You get plopped down, you see a picture, you got to guess where you're at.
People used to call me Google Maps. Like I'd be walking down, she'd be like, "Hey, Google Maps," and I would turn. I'd be like, "Why? Where do you guys get that from?" People honestly used to call me Google Maps, but
yeah, I would have assumed they called you Tom Tom. I thought that was kind of more your generation.
So, my second part 2 of Red Flag 1.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is people that know nothing about astronomy. Like if I go camping with you or we're outside of the city, Jay, you have no idea what I'm talking about because the pollution's so bad out there in Cali. You don't even know what a star is.
Stop it. I'm looking at Orion's belt when I
see, and that's like the bare minimum I need is like for them to be able to either see and recognize Orion's belt or at least like find it interesting, find the North Star. Like you got to be able to get the basics. If you don't know anything about astronomy or you're just purely not interested in it, then I think that's a massive red flag. Now, I'm not saying you have to be some guru who knows, every little star and the meaning behind every star. But you got to be able to see Orion's belt, you got to see it.
I agree that it is kind of an interesting, that was honestly the most fun class that I took back in the day. So like for anyone, I mean,
that's because you would go into that globe thing there, that blow up globe. You know what I'm talking about?
The planetarium. Yeah, I'm all in the planetarium. Exactly. It was fun. It was a free field trip all the time. But what I'm trying to say is I also wanted to refute you just a little bit, only because I obviously brought up the red flag of the people that are a little bit too into the stars. They start basing their life choices off of the alignment of the stars. That obviously anything in extremity or extremity is bad, right?
I don't know if extremity was the word you were going for, but
extreme. I'm making shit up.
But extremity is already a word. It's not like you're making it up. It has a completely different meaning.
Extremeness. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Don't question me. All right, I'm not fact checking it to come up. But what I'm saying is anything in abundance. There we go. Is too much. So anyone that takes it overboard is. But yeah, if you know nothing about it, like if you're just like, oh, what are you talking about? Like you gotta, like you said, just show me Orion's belt, show me the Big Dipper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let's call it a day. We can leave it at that. But you have to show slight interest.
Yeah, I think for the women that are out there listening to NVP episode 9, I don't know if they're gonna be able to know where to draw the line on Otchi and Jay Fish's stars. It's either too much or it's not enough. I mean, we're telling them you got to know like seven different like little constellations.
Yeah,
and
give me 3 constellations. Don't start telling me that the moon wasn't aligned when we were born, so now all of a sudden we're not compatible. Like, I don't really want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's obvious.
Okay, let's get into your RFW, Jay. What do you bring to the table this week, buddy?
I'll get into mine. I kind of just thought of this on a whim. Obviously, people could take this and spin it and make me say that I'm saying one thing, but I'm not. All right. I'm going to say that if you don't like dogs, that's a red flag to me. That's a super red flag. There's literally nothing wrong with dogs. Dogs are like the purest form of life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now people are going to say, oh, maybe I like cats. You're saying I hate cats, right? That's what people are thinking. Maybe they're not thinking that, but
I'm thinking it. I'm thinking that, and I'll go on public is to say that I do hate cats. I hate everything about them. They're not fun to be around. I've had cats like literally sit like up tight close to my face when I'm sleeping. I hate cats. They bring nothing to the table for me. People are like, oh, well, they're no work. Well, they're also no fun. So It's like, oh, they're so easy. They're not as much work as a dog. Well, at least with a dog, I get some love, some happiness, some companionship. Right. With a cat, it's just purely just like, oh, did you see that thing run across our living room and jump underneath the couch? Then we're not going to see it for a couple days.
How many people in the comments are we going to get? Oh, dude, my cat's like a dog.
My cat's so social.
It hangs out like a dog. It's like, no, it's not. All right. It's different. It's not even close. It doesn't wag its tail. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really show express. You could tell, like, dogs, like, literally will smile. Like a cat doesn't, like, a cat's, like, evil. I feel like cats are evil. And I didn't want to go there, but you went there with me, so I felt like
dude, I could not be.
I'll change my red flag to cat people. Cat people, huge red flag. And then if they combo that with they also don't like dogs, double red flag.
So
I'm giving them a 2-for-1.
Jay, I think where the waters get murky, extra murky, is when you see like one person has like 2 to 3 cats. And it's
multiple
just
cats.
Multiple
that's
cats.
Extremely murky.
You can count me out. Like it does. I don't care who you are, what you do, anything. If you have more than one cat, Otchi is out, and you guys can put that. I mean, you guys can take that to the
one
bank.
Cat. I can do. If you have a cat, but and you say you like dogs, I can compromise.
No.
I'm a fair man, Jack. I think you're a fair man.
I'm not.
You can compromise.
I'm non-negotiable on the whole cat situation. I don't.
Not
like
even
them.
one.
No.
If you have a dog present.
Like I'm allergic. Well, okay. Here's another thing. I'm very allergic to cats.
Okay.
So I already have like that bias going. Like I just straight up don't. I can't even be in the same room.
A lot of people are
very allergic. But Jay, I want to bring this up. So you said you're worried about people who don't like dogs. Well, I like dogs, but like there are certain breeds of dogs I don't like. And
I do have a fear of some breeds of dogs. Okay, let me recheck. Good dogs. Obviously, bad dogs are bad. No one likes a bad dog.
Yeah.
Right? A good dog. A nice, well-trained dog. Any breed can be well-trained.
That's true.
They're good dogs.
That's true. Now, Jay, I want to bring this up because I was just thinking about this the other day, and I didn't plan on bringing this up, but I'm gonna bring it up because you're in this scenario. So like people that have like dogs that are animals that are like 4 or 5, and they're not like, I feel like when I see someone out with an animal, and I know we've kind of already dabbled into the the dog park scene, but I feel like when I see someone out who's like 25 or older and they have an animal, my immediate thought is like that's a relationship animal. Like that's like a prelude to it's like a test run, if you will, like in a relationship, and then they plan on getting like a kid later. I don't know. I always think that. Or if I meet a girl and they have a dog and it's like, was this a relationship dog with some other guy and it just didn't work out, and now they're looking for a doggy daddy. Like that's a doggy daddy.
The couples that get a pet
Yeah.
instead of having a kid. That's what you're saying, and you think that a lot of people have.
But
that?
it's not instead of. It's more like a prelude to.
Right. Yeah, it's a test run, like you said.
And like, have you run into like the like, I don't know, if I saw, like I said, that exact scenario where it's like they're looking for like a dad dog because some other guy, they got this dog together, they broke up, now someone's got to take care of it. And it's like, okay, the animal's like,
happened to me. You said that I'm in this situation. I'm not.
No, you're not in this situation. You're not in this situation.
But I have seen this happen. You're right.
But it's like, it's weird to me because it's like, okay, the animal's 4 or whatever. It's like now I gotta ask like all these questions to like try to figure out like what's getting covered up, like what's being told to me. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm really just kind of talking through this on. I'm talking through this in live time, people. I mean, this is MVP, baby. This is what happens.
Yeah, we're in the wild waters. I mean, you never know what we bump into, but I agree I am not I wouldn't do that. That's a risky situation. The prelude puppy, if you will, because it can be very telling about a person, and you may not be ready to receive those informations. I mean, I know people, but it's very different, and this can be gender neutral. It can be guys, girls, but I mean, if a person can't really take care of a dog, it's safe to assume they probably wouldn't do well with a child. I mean, like I said, a lot of people are going to come from my head and be like, "Oh, it's not even close to the same." They put way more. I don't know. I just think that it's telling. Some traits are revealed about a person.
Well, those are our red flags of the week. Jay, I want to go into MVP story time right after RFW because I got.
Is that an official segment?
It's not an official segment. But I want to go into story time, and
go ahead.
The name of my story is, I'm just going to give it a title. It's Hot Girl at the Gym. So you guys know, like, I'm just going to tell you what it is and where it's going to go.
Sick title. That was awesome.
It's a sick title. And basically what I mean by this, though, is like, so I was at the gym and I walk in. I said this last week that they don't let you play basketball on the weekends. So I walk in and I have my ball in hand. And the lady at the front desk is like, sorry, you can't play. And I make a joke like, you can only get COVID on the weekends. And she like really laughs. She's like giving me a ton of love. She digged the joke. And then her manager is like in the background. And the manager's like, well, like, like CDC guidelines. I'm not going to go into the whole COVID talk again. But she's like looking at me like laughing like, Right. And so then I go up and I get my workout in and I don't have a towel, to take a shower. And so I go up to the front desk and I'm like, hey, can I, well, actually before this interaction, I go up. So like I said, I work out, I come back down and I'm like, hey, can I get a towel? And the sign says like $2 for a towel. So you have to pay for a towel or you have to BYOT, bring your own towel. And so she's like, oh, I got you, like free towel, while maintaining a heavy dosage of eye contact, a heavy dosage, right?
And eye contact is a little bit more obvious now with the masks because that's kind of all you're looking at. You could maybe miss it if you're looking around. Now you're kind of blocked in. And so you guys are heavy dosage. Like
and like when I go to the gym, it's not an area that like I want to dabble into. Like I just go there strictly business, want to work out, want to clock in, clock out.
All business.
I'm all business, and hitting on someone at the gym is like extremely inappropriate. And so, but like she's at the front desk, she's working, whatever. And so now it's like she's putting the ball kind of in Otchi's court here, right?
She served it up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, towel fee, don't worry about it, I got you, whatever.
Plus the excessive laugh at the beginning.
Yeah. So now I'm like, what's kind of going on here? So then. Get down in my shower. I'm like, okay, I need like that third interaction to like really find out what the deal is, And they sell drinks at the gym, and I'm like, hey, can I have a water? And like, there's like a long walkway in to like the lobby area. But she could see me coming from literally like a mile away. It's basically what I'm trying to get at, right? And
you
so
asked for it from deep.
No, I didn't ask. No. I'm just saying she
saw you.
No, she can just see me walk up. And I'm like, hey, can I get a water? She's like, yeah, $1. She stands up to go to the fridge to go get a water. And right there on the desk is not her, it's her. She has Snapchat open. Now it's not, I know what some people actually asked me this, like, was it like, you know, like one of those things you could just like press and hold and get her Snapchat? No, it's not. It was like, you know, the chat session where like other people are in there.
Right.
But she had the Snapchat up, and I didn't even put it in my head till like after I left the gym. I'm like, I felt like that was almost an invite. Like, I am coming to you and the no vesters out there. Am I making something up in my head, or is that just like one too many variables away from just like, you know, the median? Like, the deviance is here? Like, is that just one too many coincidences, Jay? I mean, where are we going with this, Jay?
I've checked the work on that. I think you've miscalculated, and there was a bit of a deviation in that in your equation. Because, I mean, if you would have saw maybe like I don't even know. No, to be honest, I think you catching a glimpse was like luck. You know?
No. Jay,
you think she blatantly put it out
Jay,
for you to look at her phone? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Okay, well, the Snapchat thing could be taken another way. The towel thing could be seen as a nice gesture.
Yeah,
but,
you had me going.
But
that last one,
but
I don't know.
Eyes don't lie, eyes don't die. She gave me those eyeballs, and like I was just, you know, kind of hungover walking into the gym, and like it caught me off guard. I'm like, whoa, you know, like you cannot be at the front. Like, I thought maybe I was gonna have to report it. Like, it was so out of line. And
you were gonna report her?
I was gonna report her, but I had a full workout to kind of like, okay, I need like another couple like interactions, like, because she threw the ball she didn't throw the ball, she punted the ball into my field. Like, it was absurd. So I had this whole workout to kind of plan. I'm like, okay, I gotta go get a towel. Okay, I gotta go get a water. Both those interactions were extremely positive. Like, not just like, you know.
So what happened? What was the end result?
I walked out of I just left the gym like an idiot.
Bought the water and left?
I bought the water and left, and I pondered it the rest of the day. And I figured I had to bring this up on MVP because I need to know. Like, honestly, I felt like I wussed out. Like, I feel like I'm ashamed. Yeah, I feel like I'm ashamed. Like, it's tough. I generally, you know, I would say I'm like the right-handed James Harden. But like that shot, like I didn't put up, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I appreciate you being open and honest here on the platform.
It's pretty soft.
It shows balls, but yeah, I mean, it happens. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. You know, there's always a coulda, shoulda, woulda that you'll think about. But the good thing about this situation, I'll say, is that you have a membership at this gym, and you're saying that she works there. Hopefully, she doesn't get fired by the next workout.
Yeah, and, I just wonder how many other guys are getting this same treatment in my gym. And did someone else shoot their shot before me? Is my shot now? Is my window? No, that's not what's keeping me up at night, man.
That's funny. No, I mean, I guess go get a workout in as soon as possible. Then, if you really think about it, don't even give them a chance. But now here lies the question: do you then initiate, you know, on the walk-in, or do you wait for the whole workout and then, you know, maybe
here's another problem. So like the gym is, you know, on the weekdays,
the gym is touchy.
And it's also busy.
That's what I know.
It's also busy.
Very busy.
You know, so you gotta go on. Yeah, Jay's telling us how busy it is. You gotta go at like the right time. You know, like you gotta hit that window.
Are you a morning guy?
No, I'm like a late morning guy, like 11 a.m. But this is on the weekends. On the weekdays, I'm late night. But we don't have. That's neither here nor there. I don't think anyone on MVP gives two shits about my schedule. But
I was curious. We're talking.
Jay was a little curious. But yeah, I mean, I want to get into. So that was MVP story time. I think we're coming out with these segments.
We'll have to circle back on that. You go to the gym. We're gonna have to hear it more because it was pretty soft.
I'll give a 5. It was extremely soft. Like, I had to take a long, hard look in the mirror and just, you know, wonder if Otchi still has it. You know, what's going on, man? It was tough. But okay, so I want to get into another topic here. In this, with golfing season coming out, and you know, times are busy, this is something that is, I think everyone on this platform needs to hear. And that is the couples that don't allow the other person to do something on their own. And we've all seen it. And to me, where Otchi draws the line is golf. So, like, if you want to take your girl golfing, and Jay, you don't play golf, so I'll just kind of just solo this segment because this is where I sound off. This is a very...
It's obviously it hits close to home.
Yeah. If you want to take your girl golfing, take her to the local par threes. The moment you step foot on a real course, she has to be a legit ass golfer. Even then, like, I feel like the couples just shouldn't be golfing. So, like, whenever a buddy of mine tells me, like, oh, like, you know, I was out golfing with my girlfriend this weekend, and I'm like, oh, where did you go? And then he spits out like a legitimate course. I don't ask another question. I don't even talk about it. The conversation to me, it's over. Now, I know what people are thinking. Jack, you're sexist. You're not letting women play on these courses. And that is absolutely, I want to be very clear, incorrect. I'm fine.
Don't they say golf stands for gentlemen only, ladies forbidden, or something like that? I swear I just
That's a little old school, Jay. You're dialing back the clock.
They can't say that. They don't say that anymore.
No, not really.
I thought that's what you were trying to get at. But
no, my point is, you know, the girls should go out with the girls, so they play from the ladies' tees all together, and it keeps the pace of play going. The reason why it sucks when couples play is one guy hits from the men's tees, then they get in their cart, then they go to the ladies' tees, and then the ladies hit off the ladies' tees, and it ends up taking absolutely forever. And I think where I draw the line, like, where, like, your girlfriend should not come with you to a real course is, like, if they're not a former Division I athlete, like, you have to call quits. Like,
high school doesn't cut it.
No, high school doesn't cut it. They have to be a former D1 athlete. So, like, if you want to go play basketball with the boys, like, just you can't bring your girlfriend, obviously, unless she played D1 college basketball. If, you know, there's so many but for me, it's golf. Like, when I hear people go golfing with their girlfriends, I'm just like, do you go fishing with your girlfriends? Do you go hunting with your girlfriends? Do you go on her nail or spa trips, or when she goes shopping, or, you know, mimosas with the ladies? Are you holding the purses? Are you parking the car? Like, what the fuck is going on here, Jay? What the hell, man? I'm just so sick of the golf stuff. It's unbelievable.
It's definitely not a good look. And I agree. The reasons that you bring up are valid. Like, pace of play. Something that I think you left out, though, is these activities that you're speaking on, you know, like when the guys get together for a nice run, you know, 5-on-5, or when they go out and they want to do a nice 18. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe, like you said, they're going up, they're driving up to Sheboygan or wherever the fuck to a nice lake, and they're going to go fishing for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Those things are meant as
getaways,
a safe haven. They're a getaway, like you said.
Sacred ground.
And so you don't want to feel like, and like, this goes without being said, but when one guy brings the significant other, or in either situation, because it's gender neutral, everyone can't act, you know, exactly how they normally would. You know what I'm saying? They have to hold back on a couple jokes. They can't dig on, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to change how you act, and no one really wants to do that while doing these great activities. Like you said, when you fire up, and, you know, when you got a tea time with the boys for 18, and you have a mindset going into it, you're ready, you're trying to get fired up, you're waiting for that cart girl, you know, you're definitely going to be checking out the cart girl. You know what I'm saying? You can't make a comment on the cart girl with the other guy's girlfriend there. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he's walking on thin ice. You know, so it ruins the experience.
Yeah.
It may alter the game, the actual game a little bit. Like, oh, now we got to play with the girls' ball or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may alter the game a little bit, but in overall, the experience is really what.
A lot of times, it's like, does she even like golf? Like, does she like fishing? Does she like hunting? Was she a gamer before she met you? Like, sometimes I feel like you put so much pressure on your significant other to like something that you're super into, and in reality, it's like, I just want to honestly just bang in the post with other grown men and get the shit kicked out of me for 30, 40 minutes. Like, I don't, that, and I don't have to come to, something that I don't want to have to paint paintings with you. Like, why do couples do that? And to me, golf is just, I want to just sound off on anyone who does that with their girlfriend. If you go to a legitimate course, you gotta play. You just, it absolutely cannot happen. Absolutely cannot happen.
And like you said, and maybe the girl does like golf, and you would hope she has a couple friends that maybe like golf too, and they do their rounds while the boy, it just seems like a thing that I agree should be kind of done separately. And what you're touching on a little bit with when the significant others start to push on to the other, like, oh, you should try this, and like, you're obviously not interested in it, like you said, like, maybe, like, a lot of times, like, I would guess that these girls that are coming to golf, they probably, I've never even been golfing before, and then that's when
the worst is when you like really question it. You're like, she's coming. Like you everyone has like one guy in the car ride's gonna like really have that negative tone, like,
right,
like she's
really?
Coming.
Wait, actually, like, you weren't joking.
And then you get hit with like the, no, dude, she's like really good. Like she could beat you. No, she's really good. We've been working on her game. She's really good. Then you step out on the course and it's just shank left, shank right. Oh, we gotta drive the cart 15 feet, 20 feet, and it's just it's not even like you're angry at her. You're angry at him. You're angry at the whole scenario. The people behind you are like, hey, can we play through? Like, can we play through? It's like, dude, I'm thinking about calling it. It's hole 6. I'm thinking about just honestly walking off the course. It's just not.
Has that happened?
No, it's never gotten to that.
You finished the round.
You finished the round. You shake the hands and you literally think to yourself, absolutely never again. In the car ride home's quiet.
Yeah, that's tough. Like you said, I've never like actually went golfing for like an actual round of golf, but I do know the camaraderie and the experience that comes with it. So I'm familiar. So I can agree that can be a real damper.
It can really just be like any activity, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's just absolutely, it's tough, man. I don't know.
Right. And so now what I thought, I'm not going to lie, I want to touch on this because when you brought this up earlier, what I thought you were going to get into was the couples so you're talking about the guy that somehow drags his girlfriend along. I thought you were going to go with the guy that now is skipping out on the golf trips or skipping out on, you know what I'm saying? He's not coming because, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with the girlfriend or hanging out with my boyfriend. Like,
so this was
becomes a problem.
I got a little story here, and I think everyone might, know who I'm talking about, but if the shoe fits, wear it. But so when I was growing up, like in middle school, I used to go to Door County on a pretty sacred summer trip every single summer with one of my really close friends, and we did it for five summers in a row. And we'd go up to his grandparents' house, and his grandparents knew me like almost as like a like a nephew or something, like check in, like oh, how's Jack doing, like, oh, how your grandparents doing, because I'd see them for a week every summer for 5 summers. And then 6th summer comes around, I'm like, hey, when are we scheduling that trip? And it's like, oh, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen this year. And you're like, well, what are you, homie got a girlfriend, she started going on the trips. Otchi's sitting at home.
Took your spot?
Took my spot. And for me, I mean, I get it, but like that it's tough, Jay.
I don't get it. Man.
Jay doesn't get it.
You've built, like you said, something sacred with your buddy, with your boy. And for him to break that, for the chick,
like, could she not,
they're even still together,
No, could she not get like another weekend? Like, right. Thursday through Sunday, like,
Yeah, you had that carved out already for 5 years, and now like for her to cut into that hurts. I admit it. That would be tough.
But going on, because that's a great segment. Honestly, you brought up, Jay, is just like, the guys that dodge you or whatever, like last minute, right. Like, oh, sorry, I can't do it. But one of the things like I want to get into is also bringing that up, like traditions that like, you just kind of outgrow. So like this is kind of funny, you and I, we used to go to haunted houses, like every haunted house, we'd go with one of our buddies and his dad, and like it was so much fun for like I would say like honestly like 4 years. But then the 5th year, it's like, okay, we're like almost grown men, going like the 4 or 5 of us. Like I'm officially not scared of someone popping out of me. I am much larger than they are now.
Gonna happen
it's not even really dark in here. The smoke is it's bothering me. It's like the fog. It's just, when do you draw those traditions that, are sacred, Jay, in a way, because you don't want to be that guy who bails on it, because you're going to feel like, the idiot who bailed on his buddy. But at the end of the day, it's like, maybe we just hang this up.
Yeah, I think it kind of becomes like I mean, I don't really remember if it was. I think it was just a collective. Everyone kind of got it. Like you said, you go that 5th year, you kind of realize like, yeah, we kind of pushed it. Like I'm almost swinging off on these guys now. I got a little bit of testosterone built up in me. I might pop off. So I agree. I think everyone kind of collectively understood, what I'm saying, and it went on, like an unwritten rule.
So
like, I think
talking about the haunted houses, I don't know truly if people honestly like my stories or not, but I continue to tell them with vigilance. Like I just continue to come out week in, week out and tell these stories because I don't know. I don't truly know. People need to tell me if they like them or not. But
you've built this platform so you're able to do so. Like,
I'm able to do so. I'm telling a global. It's like telling a story to 100 people at one time. It's absolutely awesome. I mean, you get to do it when you're global. But one of the things I want to talk about, Jay, this story with the haunted houses is, I think you remember this one time. I came through a doorway, and this was at State Fair. I'll never forget this. I was probably in like the 8th grade, and one lady's jumped out at me. And she like tried to scare me and stick her tongue out, and she came too close and she licked my face. She legitimately licked my face. And I know you're thinking that's a lie. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely not. And I looked at the dad we were with and I said, she just licked my face. And he said, what? And she tried to play it off, and she tried to be like, your blood, like I want to taste your blood. And I was like, no, like seriously, like you just licked my face.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then she completely broke character. She's like, I'm really sorry. I truly didn't mean to. I wanted to just get really close to you. I'm sorry I licked your face. Just please don't tell my boss. I really like this job. And everyone else in the entire room also broke character. Like the guy who like comes out of a tomb, like opened up his tomb. He's like, sorry about that. Like go to the next room. And it was so uncomfortable. But I got my face licked at State Fair. Also, if you've ever been to the State Fair, for anyone who's ever been to the State Fair haunted house, for whatever reason, there's like a super cracking dance party that goes on like next door with a DJ. Like it's like basically like a haunted house, but then also there's like almost like a nightclub going on directly in the same parking lot. It's absolutely out of bounds.
Like Freak Fest or Haunt Fest or something.
Yeah,
it was a good time. I'll admit it.
Yeah,
I'll admit it.
It absolutely
that is funny.
was.
I do remember that, and imagine like that happened today. Like, oh man, someone's getting almost fired or obviously fired, but they might go to jail. It's licking someone in 2021.
Yeah, whew. No,
that's a charge. That's a charge for sure,
especially in this woke day and age. But Jay, anything else? I mean, we want to get into today. I think next week we got a big week. Episode 10 is going to be celebratory week. Like I think it's a big deal to reach that 10 episode milestone already. We're cruising right on
double digits.
Double digits.
Yeah, we got to give the people something good. I mean, nothing that we need to dive into this week, but I think we just kind of need to let people know that there are some things coming up that we're gonna dive deep. We've dove deep already, but
it's just
we're
gonna
go into the we've touched the deep end. We're gonna go out into the wild. I've been hearing a lot of stories. People have been sharing their experiences with me, and quite honestly, like it's scary out there. We haven't even scratched the surface. So I'm just kind of gassing us up for these future episodes.
Dude,
We got a lot of stuff that we shelf every week, and when it comes out, you guys are we're gonna ruffle some feathers, I think, and I'm interested to see what happens.
I was at the freaking grocery store a few weeks back, and some random person, I have no idea who they were. They were like, "Are you Otchi Chen from NVP Podcast?" I mean, we are going global. I think we are global. If people are stopping me in the grocery store and they're saying, "You're Otchi Chen," and, you know, honestly, I thought the person was going to ask me for the autograph. You know, the paparazzi, it's starting to get absolutely absurd, Jay. I think you know. I don't know if they're out there in Cali
they can't find me. You don't know. That's the thing.
Jalen's in a bunker.
No one knows where the hell.
No.
I mean, people know. Obviously, it's probably not that hard to figure out. But I'm pretty hidden. You know, I'm pretty recluse. I don't know if that's the word. I'm fucking secluded. That's the word.
We're gonna, I think, and we're gonna keep bringing people onto this platform because people want to say stuff. They want to get their voice out. People got good stories, man, and you know, people have come to me and they've been asking me for like advice, like, you know, like relationship advice. You know, that I am not a marriage counselor. We are just out here talking shit, guys. Don't, you know, Jalen and I don't
can only speak on what I've experienced.
Yeah.
I can give you these red flags, man. Like, people might think we're just like making shit up, man. It's real.
It's absolutely real.
If you're trying to tell me that I haven't dealt with this shit, like, I'm living this. All right, we're in these waters,
living the dream.
These waters. I've been in these murky waters, and I just want to. I'm putting up the sign so that people avoid these murky waters. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, Nvp T-Shirt giveaway this week. John Detloff, if you're listening, hit us in the DMs. We'll hook you up with an NVP #NoVest T-shirt. We'll see who listens to the end of these episodes once again. I want to thank all of our listeners. I think episode 10 is going to be huge next week. I kept a lot of stuff in my back pocket this week because I want to just dive in on week 10. Every week. I mean, we're keeping things consistent. It's been going great. I want to thank all of our listeners, all of our sponsors, all of our people who endorse us, both out in the streets with the No Vest T-shirts, as well as people on the socials. So just keep it up. And yeah, anything else, Jay, before you sign off?
No vest. Swim at your own risk out there. You know, I can't be with you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep the channel growing. We are on multiple platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. You saw Spotify stock has been going up due to NVP, driving traffic. So just want to thank you guys again. Episode 9, Otchi and Jay Fish are officially signing out. Thank you.